Welcome, class, to our second week of learning. This week we are going to be looking at what caused the Revolutionary War. So just like in our last unit, the French and Indian War, we were looking at what were the effects, right? What were the outcomes of the war? At this point, we're going to be looking at what caused the Revolutionary War. So what are the things that happened that set the Revolutionary War into motion, right? So as you go through this week, a couple things you're going to see that are a little bit different compared to last week's learning. One, there's no clock down here in the corner. And the reason for that is because rather than having three individual slide decks, I just have one slide deck, and each slide is going to have a day's worth of learning on it. Okay, and a day's worth of learning is anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on how quickly you work through the things. Okay, just make sure you put in a good enough time that you really are understanding the concept. So if you need to put a little more time because you don't feel like you're understanding it yet, awesome. If you're like run through it once and you're like, oh, I totally get this, then you're good for the day. Okay. So just kind of looking through real quickly, what are your activities for this week? Day one, we're going to be looking through the proclamation line of 1763. So we're going to be reading a chapter in our textbook. You're going to watch this video, and then you're going to complete this reflection sheet. Just like everything thus far in this class, when you open up the reflection sheet, make a copy and then share that back with me to turn it in. Okay. Then the next thing you guys are going to be working on, right? So that was one day's worth of work. Day two's work, you're going to listen to this podcast and then fill in the study guide. What I would do is I would print the study guide and then just have that in front of you as you're listening to the podcast. That way you can just write down the answers as you hear them. If you don't have a printer or you just prefer to work on your computer, you can just make a copy of the study guide and fill in those answers as you hear them on your computer. Just make sure you share that back with me. So that way I have a copy of your work. Okay. And then the last thing we're doing is we're going to read this Newsela link or this Newsela article. And then there's going to be a writing prompt based on what you read here. This writing prompt is going to be very similar to what the assessment for this unit is going to be. So do a really good job on it. Do your best. That way I can give you some good feedback, and that'll help your final assessment be that much better. Okay, so the more time you put into doing a good job on this, the better your results are going to be and the more prepared you'll feel when we get to the final assessment. As always, if you have any questions on anything, pop into our office hours. Right, they're from 10:30 to 11. Just go to that Google link that you've been emailed, and you can come in and ask me any questions you have. All right, have a good week, and we'll see you in class.